Slate breakdown for today's WNBA playoffs for today. Sorry about that. If you guys were tuned into the last video, I don't know what happened, but a little bit of technical difficulties. Fixed that, so we should be back good to go. If you guys are new here, welcome to the No Days Off DFS channel, where we are continuously growing and evolving, breaking down slates for all sports. We have WNBA, hockey, MLB, esports, NASCAR, you name it. We are definitely out here doing it. And I know we're going to have some college football this weekend, and then NFL will be coming up in a couple of weeks. If you guys would like to join the No Days Off DFS fam, check down the link in the description below for the Patreon. It's only $10, and I promise you, you make that back within your first week. We drop cores for all DFS sites, along with prop plays for all prop sites, sports battle, underdog, prize picks, you name it, we got it. Definitely check that out. If you guys are new here, definitely hit the subscribe button if you guys are enjoying these breakdowns, and then also slap the like button. It definitely does a lot for your boy for the YouTube algorithm. As we know, today we have New York Liberty taking on the Chicago Sky. If you guys watched the last game, it was a blowout for sure. The Sky, they finally came and they did what we expected them to do in the first game. They blew them out by 38 points. It was over well before halftime. The Sky were just on a whole nother dimension, whole nother plane. They came out, they knew what they had to do, and they did that. They definitely got embarrassed in that first game, and they came out to fix that. Now it's going to be on New York's terms to come out here and try to throw the punch and show that they definitely belong and that they definitely can do it. And we know they can because they did beat them a couple of times in the regular season. So this should not be too hard of a feat for them to do, but it is all about if they can execute. As we do know, anything can happen in WNBA. Looking over at RotoWire, we can see the starting lineups. Really don't expect nothing to really change for the starting lineups. Only biggest thing would be if the Liberty decide to finally take Dangerfield out of the starting lineup. She really hasn't been playing major minutes anyway out there for them. She really doesn't do much for them, in my opinion, whenever you watch it. She's really not a scorer. She can facilitate a little bit, but she's undersized. I really don't see any point in having her out there. I would rather have a Sammy Whitcomb or Johannes out there playing and helping and assisting versus having Dangerfield out there. To me, she's more of a liability. Really not too much that she can go out there and do and capitalize on. So just pay attention to the starting lineup right there. We do know the game is at 9 o'clock this evening. Definitely, if you guys are inside of the Discord, you do know we will post the starting lineups in there, so we will have that information and definitely get it out beforehand. On the Sky side, nothing should change for them. Same starting lineup that they've been running this whole time, so we really don't have nothing to worry about on that side. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's try to break this down. Looking at the two games that they played, of course, the first game was definitely much closer. 98-91 game that they had. You know, Liberty, they came out. They definitely threw that punch out there. They looked good. They looked really good. All their starters definitely played some minutes. You had Howard, Dolson, Sabrina, all hitting over minutes. Laney, she came close to it. We do know Laney, she's still working her way back. She did miss some time throughout the season, played towards the end of the season. She only played 27 minutes. And then, of course, in the game that got blown out, nobody really saw over 26-ish minutes. And the only person that saw at least 26 minutes, that was Sabrina Ionescu. 23, 26 minutes. Other than that, the starters, they really did not play in that game. So definitely, I would hope and I would expect the starters to actually play their roles, play their minutes this time in this matchup. As you look at it, if you look at the tail of the two halves, to me, looking over starting on Liberty side, Howard, if she can get going and she can assert herself, she's looked pretty decent out there in regards to her scoring, finding her spot. Definitely rebounding and everything. She hasn't looked bad, and definitely I do believe you could pick on CP3, her defense, because we know she can be lackluster at times. And then to me, the biggest factor is Laney. Laney actually being able to play minutes, asserting herself, hitting her shot. We do know that she brings it on both ends of the floor in regards to her defensive intensity that she can bring at the same time, along with her scoring. I'm going to be looking for Laney to assert herself in this game and definitely try to make a splash right here in order to keep them in it. Because really, to me, watching that first game and watching the second game, it was Laney that was the driving force of them. Because if you watch and pay attention, they were trapping Sabrina. They were trapping at the top of the key to get the ball out of her hands. Every single time Sabrina got the ball, trap. Two defenders. Every single time she had to pass it out. And granted, there were some times where Sabrina really wasn't passing it out when she should have been. And it really, luckily, they still were able to win the game. But of course, you got Sabrina who jacks up some crazy threes sometimes because she wants to get going, shows that she is her and things of that nature. But to me, I believe they're going to do the same thing that they have been doing, frustrate Sabrina, and she's going to have to try to adjust. I know she said that she's seen all these coverages before. She's, been able to play a full season. She definitely understands what's going to be coming at her. It's going to be on her to adjust right here. But still, I believe that Laney, with all that focus being put onto your main primary uses monster on the team, other players are going to have to step up. And to me, that's going to be Laney, and that's definitely going to be Howard. Howard, I definitely would expect her to have a bounce back spot here because we do know she's also the heart and soul of this team in regards to scoring as well. If Howard can get going, she could definitely hit her shots and stuff of that nature. That definitely opens up more for Sabrina, Laney, Dolson, all of them out there. All right. All right. So let's actually go ahead, break down a couple of things. New York Liberty, since we're starting with that. All right. Throughout the season, I know the end of the season, Howard, she had her better games towards the second half of the season in regards to playing up against this Sky team. Still, definitely believe this is a spot that we can still attack and want to play. Not even pay attention to Chicago's only allowing 31.7 fantasy points to, you know, her position for the power forward to the nature. This is still going to be a smash spot, especially for her to be able to step up and actually assert herself. She's going to be needed in this position and in this spot. As we can see, she has the ability to pop. All going to be whether or not if she's going to be able to get out there and get her scoring and also defend at a high level, which that is what Natasha Howe is known for. She's a WNBA champion for a reason. She definitely knows that she's going to have to step up in the spot. If you're playing over on DraftKings, trying to, how we have to pick a captain. For me, looking at the captain position, I'm not going to shove in any of these top studs. So all these guys, Sabrina Ionescu, she really hasn't even paid off anything in regards to her games going up against them. She had one outlier game where she popped off really hot, dropping like 66 fantasy points. And then, of course, in that first game, she dropped 45. But really, before that second half, when she really started hitting her threes and getting those shots to go, she really wasn't doing anything at all. She's still going to be a fade for me. She's dealing with Courtney Van Sloot defense and also Copper defense, and they've been making it hell for her. And like I said, they're already doubling her. That defensive intensity that they have for her is going to make a fake for me on Sabrina. Now, of course, GPP lineups showdown is nothing but GPPs anyway. I'm not telling you not to have her in your player pool. Definitely have her in your player pool, but not someone that I'm looking to play as my captain play for today. Dolson, she's definitely had much better matchups, much better games going up against them, which has been really shocking. Going up against Miesman defense. Miesman's a pretty good defender out there in her right. Biggest thing for Dolson always is whether or not she's in foul trouble. When she's not in foul trouble, she's definitely getting misses. We've seen in that first game, she played 32 minutes, dropped 13 points, 7 rebounds, a block, 3 assists. Looked really good. If we can get that Dolson back here today, definitely out there hitting her shot. She played pretty decent at home throughout the season. Once again, her biggest thing is always just that foul trouble, man. If you know Dolson watching her game, she fouled somebody, she's throwing her hands in the air like she didn't do anything. Biggest thing right here, of course, is whether or not she's gonna get the playing time. Someone that I have interest in, but not someone that I'm rushing to play and jump onto my lines. Laney, as much as I've talked her up already for today, she's definitely someone that I have a lot of interest in. I definitely do believe that she's gonna have to carry this team with Sabrina getting all the looks that she's gonna be getting in regards to defensive assignments. The shots are gonna be there for Laney, and whether or not if she can convert is gonna be the biggest thing. Now, the biggest benefactor to why I believe that the Libs won that first game was the play of Johannes. She came off the bench and she was firing. She was hitting a ton of really good shots, but also her playmaking, those assists, the dimes that she was dishing out there. If Johannes can get out there and she can get going, this is the biggest thing with Johannes and Sammy coming off the benches. Who's going to be hot? Who's going to be able to leave their thumbprint on the game? That is the biggest thing with these two, and it's always been the toughest thing to peg down throughout the season because they'll flip flop here or there. Johannes, she's actually had pretty decent games going up against the Sky. Um, I don't really think they can defend her with how shifty she is. Just watching her game and watching how she played, especially in that first game, she really didn't get the playing time in the second game. Didn't do too much. But if we can get that 25, 22 fantasy points to what she was putting up at 28, 27 minutes, if she's getting over those 20 minutes, I believe she's going to put up a really huge number here in this spot. And I love her, especially coming off the bench. Granted, yes, she's gonna deal with some Gardner defense, but Gardner doesn't scare me. Gardner should be on someone more like Sabrina, who I expect to at least play probably about 38 minutes in this spot. This is a do or die game. So definitely expecting the starters to play major minutes. And like I said, Dangerfield, I do not see her being able to stay out there on the court. She's undersized. She's not really gonna be able to stick with Allie Quigley, Sloot, definitely not Copper. They're just bullying her out there. I don't see her being out there on the floor. That's why I believe that Johannes and Sammy, the minutes are going to really be there more for those two off of the bench, definitely for them to get some play and things of that nature. Dangerfield, I'm already fading her. Rebecca Allen, she really hasn't been playing too much in the series. 11 minutes. I want to say in both series so far. Yeah, well, 11, 16 minutes, and granted, this was a blowout, so of course she got a little bit more run, but she really hasn't done anything with her playing time. I don't see myself going back to her in this spot at all, whatsoever. Not someone that I'm rushing to, and honestly, for me, probably gonna be a fade. Dangerfield, you already know I'm fading her. Han, she's not getting the playing time unless Dolson gets in foul trouble. You can never exclude out Han. Definitely someone to keep your eye on. That's only if Dolson is to get in foul trouble. But like I said, do or die game. I definitely see them running the starters heavy right here. Onion, not touching her. just not. And then DD, of course, we just know she's not playing. she's been a DNP for quite some time. All right, so really, of course, just the starters minus Dangerfield. If Dangerfield comes out and she freaking crushes it today, I will eat crow on that. But just the minutes that she's not getting, the fact that she's really just been pulled, she goes out there and she does nothing at all. 4 field goals attempts, she makes 1. 7 field goals attempts, she makes 2. I'm not playing her. I definitely see Johannes and Sammy definitely being the beneficiaries coming out there and being able to play a little bit more minutes. Depending on which one of these two get hot, that's going to be the biggest thing for us to try to decipher and figure out. That's who I'm going to be targeting. Going over to the other side to the Chicago Sky, really for me, this is pretty cut and dry. Of course, you have CP3 look pretty good, decent, as definitely it's the playoff. She's going to turn up. She's going to look good. Boom, bam. All right, cool, great. Not telling you not to take CP3 actually, your lines. Courtney Van Sloot, again, has looked great. Really great spot. We know she's going to dish and dime. The usage is there. All the playmaking that she's going to do. Definitely someone to have. Copper. This is the one for me. Copper has been literally the heart and soul and has been the most consistent out of everybody for the Sky. And honestly, to me, she's definitely captain play material. As you can see, she's not priced up too high. When you come down in here, she is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 highest priced person. 7-4 definitely gives you a lot of room to make some really good choices in regards to who you want to plug and play into your lineup. And definitely someone that I have a lot of interest in regards to captain play. Even besides her, you could definitely go right here, take Howard, possibly as a captain's play, and then go in and get a lot of that value. But I know for sure, playing around with these two for sure are going to be inside of my showdown lineups between Howard and Copper. Just the fact of how I see the teams being leaning on them, just the play that Copper's had, her defensive intensity that she's had out there on the court, on top of the fact of she's really just getting into the lane and getting whatever she wants. She's driving, and just her athleticism has just been on display, and really the Liberty, they haven't had anything to stop her thus far through the first 2 games. Really doesn't look like they were able to adjust for her at all just yet. So definitely really high on my radar for a play today. Stevens as well. She's looked really good in the 2 games that they played, getting over 20 minutes in both games, 24 and 23 minutes. Came out 16, 14 points in those 2 games, averaging about 16 points, and definitely the same 2 blocks and steals stat line in both games, which is really cool. 2 steals, 1 block in both of the games. Definitely really interesting. Someone I do have a little bit of interest in, because once again, if she goes out there and she's playing really well, she's playing great, she's gonna get the minutes, she's gonna get the burn, she's gonna get the run. But of course, if she's out there, she's flopping, she's not really hitting her shot, she's missing defensive assignments, they're gonna pull her, they're gonna yank her. She's not really gonna see the minutes, and they'll probably roll with Miesman or just run CP3 a little bit longer out there. But definitely someone I do have some interest in. Quiggs, she's out there, she has a shot. I don't think she can hurt you out here. Definitely, once again, do or die game. We know quick she's going to get those shots. She does a little bit everything in regards to actually getting some assist and rebounding out there. So definitely someone to have in your play pool. Definitely someone to consider, especially if you're not trying to play like Sloot or CP3. You think they're a little bit too much. You think you can get the value in regards to someone like Allie. Definitely worth a play. Definitely worth going to. Then lastly, Miesman. This will be the game that Miesman pops off. Now, I only say that into PP consideration because she has definitely flopped. The first 2 games just flopped. Hasn't really done much. And then as we've seen looking at her game log, she had 1 game early this season when she dropped 50 fantasy points going up against them. But 8 points, 4 points, 6 boards, 4 boards, really has not done much going up against New York at all. And she's playing those low 20-ish minutes, 24, 26 minutes. This is going to be the game that she decides to pop off where everyone decides they want to forget about her. Definitely someone to consider inside your GPP. Definitely something that couldn't take down a GPP top prize, because I highly doubt anyone's going to have Miesman as their captain play. this is the spot where we see it all the time. The player that's been dudding, the player that no one has any interest in, boom, they pop off and they just have a huge big game. Definitely something to consider right there in regards to something. So as I said that, let's look at something. So let's get a little bit of an example of a Miesman lineup, because I'm just saying that right there, I 100% can see that just being like, oh wow, just pops off and just destroys everybody. So, oh, nope, I don't want you to. We're gonna play around with a couple lineups. Let's see. I'm gonna lock Miesman in. I definitely said I have a lot of interest in Howard. Miesman, Howard. Let me get a third. Let's go with Allie. Allie or Sloot, one of those two. Sloot. I'm gonna go with Sloot. Safer floor. Allie, she's more of a GPP play. That right there, leaving you 7,300. Definitely going here, someone like Laney or Johannes. Those two that have definitely some potential to pop off and definitely pop. I definitely wouldn't hate the Laney and Howard combo right there, and then see what else we have less that we can plug in. But this right here, pretty solid core right here to start off with. Definitely has some value. Leaves you wiggle room. As you can see, that's pretty much leaving me fading Sabrina, fading Parker, because I don't see myself going all the way down here to the bottom of the barrel, getting any of these players out here that aren't going to play. Literally from Allen down is no one worth playing. I mean, shoot, even if you want to come up here to Han down, no one worth playing. So really, your player pool is everyone up here. Just picking and matching what is going to be the best spot, best plays in regards to how you're going to match it up, who's going to really have that night. And really, like I said, the constant contributor has been Copper. What she's been going out there doing definitely has been Copper. But that's just one little example of what we could possibly go ahead and run out here in this spot. And then, I mean, let's see. Go over to the captain. Like I said, I definitely like Copper in this spot. And then maybe definitely go Howard. Then Johannes off the bench. This is a Johannes game. She pops off. And that definitely lets you have some options. Of course, we have Laney again, 6,600. Definitely gives you some room if you want to come here and get like Sloot. If you want to take a shot at Sabrina, something like that. So definitely all sorts of different ways that we could definitely go right here and find some mix and match plays, things of that nature. All right. The time that I know everybody really wants to go for. Everybody loves the props. So let's go ahead. Let's go over to 2 price picks and try to make this as painless as possible. All right. So looking at the slate, as I said already, we got to pick our spots right. As you can see, the value is something that we have to try to find. Looking at it, she's only gone over this twice in her matchups going up against the Liberty this season. Sabrina, like I said, she's getting that double coverage. I don't hate the under on this. Just the coverages that they've been throwing at her, literally, is they're doubling her. They're not letting her get the ball. They're not letting her really do much at all. And she's only gone over this twice, and that was in that one playoff game right here, and then that 66 fantasy point game where she posted that triple double going up against them. So they've done really well at defending Sabrina throughout the season, and of course, once again, as we've seen in the playoffs, something I don't hate. Do not hate taking the under on Sabrina right here. Of course, I know we hate to gamble on superstars in regards to taking unders on things of that nature, but definitely something to consider, especially depending on how you see the game going. What's the game script? You see the Sky winning. If you watch the games, you see them still doubling her, trapping her, making her get the ball out of her hands, not really letting her get her shot. I can see it. And I mean, once again, I forgot to mention this at the top of the stream, but the Sky, they're 9-point favorites, of course. Once again, not a outrageous spread, but definitely something to consider and to look at. Copper, like I said, she's been the most consistent person for them throughout the playoffs and just honestly throughout the season in regards to playing up against the Liberty. Now, granted, she has only gone over this line in the 2 games in the playoffs because she's only posted 13, 17, and 16 points going up against them throughout the season. So you take it with a grain of salt and definitely wouldn't mind hammering her over regards to just how well she's been playing. Laney, this is one I'm going to be taking a stab at. I'm going to be taking Laney over her points just because with the scoring and just the pressure that Sabrina's getting, I'm just feeding into that narrative. That's what I've built. That's what I've decided. Laney, I know she can do it. I've seen her do it when she went and played up against them in that first game. She was getting pretty much whatever she wanted. She was going in there. She was attacking the offensive glass. She was getting to the free throw line, things of that nature. And I just see Lainey having to put it on her back. And I know Lainey will go out there. She'll take like 15 shots if she has to. Definitely, definitely something to consider and one of the plays. Courtney Van Sloot. She honestly has had the number going up against the libs pretty much all season. These has only been one game where she posted 8 points, and that was the first game against them in May. Other than that, she has gone over this in every single game that she has played against them for the rest of the season, and including the 2 playoff games. Of course, as we can see, 13, 16 points. We do know she can come out there and definitely get downhill and just score with the best one whenever she feels like it. And one of the plays that I will be having for an over for points. Love that spot for her. She's just been just too consistent right there. Howard, like I've talked her up all stream, definitely something to consider in regards to possible. I'd lean the over if we're expecting for Sabrina to be shut down. Laney and Howard to have to step up. Definitely something to consider. Definitely an over right there. Other than that, Quiggs, Miesman, Stevens. Stevens is definitely a gamble. I'm not gonna lie. Stevens is a huge gamble if you really do believe that Stevens is gonna get there. She's done really well in those first 2 games, but we've seen it all the time with the Stars. Um, you know, they play pretty consistent, and then all of a sudden, poop, they shit the bed. So just like how I said that Miesman, this is a spot where she could definitely pop off. She shit the bed the first 2 games. It could be the spot where Miesman finally pops off right here. Something to consider. But I'm not touching none of these guys down here. Really not gonna mess with these. Dolson, I'll take her fantasy points or her PRA if I'm playing anything for Dolson. She's been pretty decent going up against them for the season. Of course, once again, blowout for this game, but has looked pretty good going up against them throughout the season, period. So Dolson, her PRA is definitely something that I would consider right there. Rebounds, I believe that CP3, she's gone over this in both of the games. Once again, I don't know what's going on with Miesman, but she really hasn't been going out there and being that assertive or aggressive on the boards. I'm not taking that over right there at all. No way, shape, or form. Not really interested in that one. Not taking Coppers at all either. Howard, I really feel like she's been playing more out on the perimeter. I'm not taking her boards. The moment she take the under, she's definitely going to go over. CP3 would be the only one that I would consider in regards to boards, in regards to going over her boards. She's been pretty consistent going up against this, in this matchup already. For the assist, getting the ball out of Sabrina's hands. Everyone else is taking shots. I like the assist, but the only thing is that sometimes Sabrina holds the ball way too long and just doesn't get rid of it. So I do actually have some interest in her turnovers, just because she can be turnover prone. I know everyone loves to hammer Howard's turnovers. She always typically gets there, but not something I'm going to be looking at today. That line pretty much just has push potential, if anything, at all. For the fantasy score, I was looking at Copper's fantasy score. She's hit this in both of the games, and definitely, like we said earlier, has been pretty consistent. Once again, I feel like Copper, they haven't had an answer for her. Definitely feel like she's going to definitely go over that, and I don't see any problem in regards to taking Laney, her fantasy point over. Once again, as you've seen, 34.5 fantasy points, crushed it. I feel like this is definitely going to be the game where she's going to come out here and she's going to crush once again. 19.5, way too low in regards to what she can go out there and do, especially if she can go out there and get a couple of blocks and steals and does her thing. And then, of course, you can't talk about playing a fantasy point over without talking about CP3. Definitely another spot where I can see us taking CP3. I actually really do like her first half fantasy score. That 17.5 just looks a little bit too low for what she's gone out here and done. So definitely, probably I'm not gonna say lock, but I think it's a lock play that we can go ahead and hammer out and mix and match and play right here today. Also, I mean, I don't hate taking Laney's as well. She smashed this in that first game, and then I want to say Sloot's PRA is another one to consider if you want to get some mix and match. So CP3, CP3, Laney, and Sloot. I don't hate all 3 of these right here in regards to a power 3 or flex 3 play. Definitely something to consider and play. All right, guys. That's it. I rambled on a little bit too much. Definitely let me know down in the comment section some things you guys want to see me improve upon in regards to doing these breakdowns. I try not to make them too long. Definitely, it's live in regards to if anyone wants to ask any questions and stuff like that. If you guys want to talk some more, join the Patreon, then join the Discord. Definitely talk to me inside the Discord. We can chop it up, go over some plays, go over some things like that, and stuff that we like. Definitely looking forward to this game. Should be hopefully a good one. I definitely see the Liberty keeping this one close, and they should not get blown out on their home court in back-to-back games. But as you know, WNBA, you never know what you are going to get. Hopefully, I see all you guys in the green.